now, and I feel like it'll be kind of mean for me to let you guys wait on Amgen and see how well they do. So I feel like we might make a ton of money off of Amgen. We might lose a ton of money off Amgen. I do have a save, so I can cheese the system, but at the same time, oops, sorry about that. That was for last episode. But yeah, I feel like we're going to make quite a bit of money off Amgen, especially if the industry recovers. But the problem is we got a margin call. We had to sell off one of our companies that we loved, and that's in U.S. Gas and Electric. I don't know why I'm in there. Oh yeah, I think that was for the utility company we just sold last episode. But yeah, the industry is starting to have a comeback. Amgen is very, very cheap right now. And I think we bought around this $15 level. So I'm hoping that Amgen makes a comeback, and they have amazing, like they're one of my favorite companies right now at the moment. So we have a ton of money, I think, to meet them. Oh, we did have a ton of money to meet the margin, but I don't think we do anymore. But I feel like we own a ton of shares of Amgen, like 68K worth. So right now we've lost a lot of money on Amgen. So if we get another margin call, I might have to sell Florida Lights. But what we are doing is we're betting that Amgen's going to go up in price a ton. In the industry to go back to 15%. So it hit 7. So it was very low. So that's a bit of a bad industry. And now they're above 15. So it might be a decent time to sell. But at the same time, I feel like Amgen has way more steam that they can spend. Like it's only double the book. Third quarter, they already beat last year's expectations. It's only 13 times. I feel like it might be a decent time to get out around 20 or 30. 20 is kind of pushing it. So I might get out around 20 times earnings. Who knows? I feel like the stock's intrinsic fair value is around $30 a share. Especially if the industry is doing well. If the industry is doing garbage, as you can see, it can go to $15 a share. But yeah, right now would be a decent time to analyze and see how well Amgen is. It's a hold. It's a hold right now. So I feel like it might be a decent time to exit. Especially because it's almost near 20 times earnings. It would not be a decent time. It would be a decent time to take my profit and run. Because we have just basically... that minus 900,000, that's how much we basically put into the stock. And we got margin too on top of the table. If we didn't have margin, I could probably be a lot more cocky with it and hold on to the stock a lot more. But I feel like 35 might be a good exit. Who knows? But yeah, 35 might be a good exit. I'm just going to check. Hold 61 cents a share. That's pretty good. I think you can see the stock chart. So the stock chart hasn't moved much. It was actually $160 a share. It went all-time low to 15. Now it's there. So there's a bit of resistance across here, but like, yeah, you can actually draw like this. This is kind of like, I think they call it like the moving average, or like basically the resistance or support. I think it's called the support. My mistake. But yeah, Amgen right now is on fire. We're making good money off this stock. And I'm just going to keep tapping this pause button to see if things go well. Florida Lights. Acceleron, we don't own that company anymore, sadly, because we got margin called. But yeah, I think it is a good time to dump out this company. Especially because they're probably 30 times earnings. Yes, they are. It is a good time to make an exit, because I don't want to be too cocky with this stock. So we're going to make an exit. Look how much money we have now. We're like balling right now. We're rich. Sadly, we had to sell one of our utility companies, but at the same time, I feel like I wanted to diversify. So that's a really good time for us to exit the biotech industry. So now we have VIA and that company. But yeah, we're going to save because we just made a killing off of Amgen. Thank you so much, Mr. Biotech. The problem with biotech in real life is it's really, really risky. I never touched biotech, but like, our net worth, oh my goodness, we've made tons. So what we're going to do is we're also going to look for more industries, basically, that are potentially a good stock. Typically, biotech is one of the best in the entire game, but I think I said in last episode, is also software. Software is not as good as biotech. As you can see, it has 15 and 15. Oh no, my bad, 13 and 13. But yeah, potentially software is also equally as good. Like, this one looks very, very good at the moment. I feel like this might be worth it, especially if there's a long-term horizon. They're almost at book. They beat the quarterly estimates. They're really good PE. We already saved the game too, so I'm going to buy a ton of GWRE, my mistake. I'm going to buy a ton of it, and we're basically just going to see how things work out. Yeah, so basically, this game is a lot more predictable than real life. Like, you can predict trends and stuff. Like, hey, I saw that company was really, really cheap. It was almost near book value and stuff. But like in real life, you can buy a company almost at book and get in trouble. But yeah, there's a problem I'm having when it comes to my investments. Is like I'm considerably thinking about going into growth or not going into growth. I don't know. I'm going through a bit of a weird trend in my life where I feel like for my age, I might go into growth a lot more, or I might not go into growth. Like I right now, I'm a value investor, but I feel like at the same time, I should be growing my money a lot more than the average. Come on, go to 25 and I'll get out, boy. Yeah, we basically made quite a bit of money off GWRE. It's the problem about margin. You can either make a lot or you can lose a lot. I have made good plays so far, but I haven't really got burned yet when it comes to margin. That's because I've been playing it really safe, looking for growing industries, stocks that are very cheap. So I'm going for a bit of a value-growth approach when it comes to stuff. But we could get burned, theoretically. I'm hoping that GWRE is a buy, or potentially is a good company. It's a bit above book. They had really good earnings. Like, why are the people not like it? It's probably the industry, I guess. Again, sorry for all the talking. It's a bit lower than usual. It's still very cheap. Honestly, I don't know why people are giving it a strong sell. Makes no sense. So I'm probably just going to hold on to it. It could burn us, could not burn us. We made like 3 million profit. Now we're back up to 1 point something. 1.8, I believe. Yeah, 1.8, 1.6 now. Yeah. I think it's because of the 16, it went from like 13% to 11. So the current rates right now are bad, but the long-term rates are good. So it's usually what you want to do in this game is you want to aim for good long-term growth and good short-term current rates. Yeah. So right now we are doing really well with GWRE. Basically, me deciding to go into growth has made us a ton of money, but it's also put a bit of risk in our account as we have $12 million in value and $2 million in margin. But GWRE has actually made us way more money than the biotech industry. I feel like I have to find the fair value of this company. 15 times earnings. I'm probably going to get around 20. It's BBB right now, which is a bit risky, but the ROE is very good. First quarter, 57 cents. Like, are you kidding me? That's just amazing growth. So I feel like the fair value might be $40. I like to round my numbers, so $40 a share. I feel like it's a good number. Reanalyze. Almost 20 times earnings. I feel like that's a bit risky, so I'm going to get out. Basically, if you see the earnings, the PE, I feel like that's even the developer said. Basically, the PE is one of the most important metrics in the entire game. If you look at a company that has really low PE, they're almost a steal. If you see them at a very high PE, they're not. They're a bit overpriced. So in some cases, you actually want to go for the losers. You want to aim for, and you want to back away from the winners. We basically made more money. I feel like that was my last peak. We had another peak. We basically we start off flat for many years. And we grew a little bit. Then we grew a ton recently. Because of that options contract and because of me buying high growth industries. But yeah, we were stuck in the 100,000 range just doing long-term investing, which is good, but at the same time, as you can see in the last 3 episodes, I basically turned my $178,000 into millions. I feel like I'm actually on track of growing my money. I don't know what time the challenge ends. It ends in 2051, and we're in 2027 right now. So we got quite a bit of years towards going for high growth. I feel like at a certain point, 100 million, I feel like that's when we're going to start doing dividend reinvestments and stuff, because it would not be worth our time and effort towards going into growth, because at a certain period, it's not worth it as much. So then we're going to start doing bonds and stuff. I don't know what they're going to do with the rates. They're easing, so we're going to lock in a ton of money towards government debt, the long bond, and hope and pray to goodness that it goes down in value a little bit. We're going to hope that they lower down the rates. We took out a bit of margin for that too. Yeah. We're going to lock in some interest. In our bond portfolio, we made a decent 1 million. I'm going to cash out just for extra safety, you know? My bad. And we have 13 mil. So we just made 2 mil real quick just off that government bonds. So now we're going to save, and I hope everyone has an amazing day. I'm going to try to hit 100 million in the next 2 or 3 episodes, and then that's my goal, I guess. And then what we're going to do is then we're going to try to grow our wealth to 100 million, a billion, and then after that we're just going to play around when we hit a billion, because our challenge is $1 billion challenge. Anyways, I hope that you guys all have an amazing weekend. It's now Friday, so I hope that you guys have an amazing weekend and have a good one.